We'll jump next to pipeline easements. I don't know what the potential for this business has. I'm putting it out there just because I'm seeing a little more of it, and it's something I want us all to keep an eye on. In a lot of places in the Midwestern states, and the Iowa thing might be part of it too, there are energy companies that are putting pipelines to carry, petroleum products or energy products from one part of the country to another. And what they do is they get a map of the United States and say, we want to put it here. And then they identify the properties they want to go through, normally large tract farms. They have to impact the least number of property owners. And farms generally don't have that many structures they have to impact or deal with. What happens is they'll go and they'll say, this is where we want to put it. These are all the farms on there. And they try to negotiate with those landowners to put the pipeline through. Landowners don't have much of negotiating power because they know that if they don't get the thing agreed to, they're going to do eminent domain anyways because the state wants the pipeline to come through. So they try to negotiate the best they can. Mostly what the landowners try to negotiate are the terms. How much of my fence do I have to tear down? How much access do you have to get through? How much of my water are you going to need? Where can I not grow crops anymore? Because you may not be able to grow crops on top of where the pipeline goes through. It's not so much about the money, it's about the least imposition on my property as possible. But they need searches. The pipeline company needs searches. The landowners might need searches. Adjacent properties might need searches. It's another area where I think that getting other information about other pipeline easements in the area or from that same company might be important. A lot of the inquiries we're getting are from the landowners themselves. Landowner, guy's got a 1,000-acre farm, gets a call from the state or from an energy company, we want to put a pipeline. What do I do now? They call an attorney. Attorney may not know. Let's start finding out what's going on. They run a title search on their own property, see where the easements are, maybe do a survey. If they can get information about where that pipeline company has put easements before, what were the terms? What's the wording on the recorded documents for the easement for the pipeline? That might help that person find out what they can do to minimize the impact on their property. And whenever these inquiries come in for pipeline easements, whenever we bring up that idea of, gee, by the way, while we're doing this search for you, why don't we find out what the other terms and conditions are from this company in other areas or from other companies in your area? Would you be interested in that? And most of the landowners are very glad to get, or attorneys are glad to get that information. Couple things to look at as far as terms. Does the pipeline company need to put any above ground equipment on their property? Are there any relief valves or access valves or anything else that are going to be above ground? That seems to be a big deal when they're putting in pipelines. Is it just going to be all underground? They're going to come in once, dig, and then how wide is the easement? Can you grow on it? Does it have berms on either side? Is it going to block water flow? Sometimes the pipeline going across, they have a berm on either side. Well, your creek that runs through that feeds your stock is on the other side. It might block that water flow. How is that going to be dealt with? Those are all the questions that the owner and the attorney are going to be asking. Not necessarily we need to answer those questions, but if we can identify the facts for those people, that's very, very helpful to them, and helpful means valuable. So that's all good stuff. Has anybody done a pipeline easement search? You've done a few. That's good. Where?
Waukee, Iowa.
In Iowa.
Yeah. That's where they were getting ready to develop.
Yep. Big tract?
About 500 parcels.
Really? Was it from the energy company or from?
I got it from an
engineering company. Mm-hmm. Interesting. How wide was the easement? Do you know?
I don't remember.
That's one of the things.
Typically 10 feet.
Yeah. I've seen some a little narrower. We saw one that was going to go along a railroad bed that was 35 feet wide, which I thought was a lot.
Yeah, that is wide.
Seemed like it was pretty wide. Where was yours?
The pipeline that ran from the Columbus area down almost to the Ohio River.
Mostly big tracts?
Yeah, I mean, it
wasn't going through neighborhoods. It wasn't going through like neighborhoods or anything.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.